Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Paint Table. It's my weekly show where you see what I got done, what I'm working on, and what is coming up. So this week's kind of an amalgamation of the end of last year, the beginning of this year, as I look through and see what got painted. I have been just kind of slowly deciding what projects I want to focus on, and that means that I haven't actually done a lot of work. I've been spending time with family and just taking time off. But I got 6 models done so far, which is pretty cool, and a bunch of projects that I'm sort of like putting stuff together for and kind of excited about. So let's see what got done and what I'm working on. So first things first, I painted up some Song of Ice and Fire neutral heroes. We have Jack and Hagar. We have the man, the legend, Walder Frey, the most influential, boring-looking miniature sitting in a chair, and Tycho Nestoris. All these neutral heroes come in the Neutral Heroes 2 box, and we played a bunch of games against Owen's Baratheons. I wanted to paint something new to add to my neutrals, and they've been great so far. Jaqen adds to my Starks as an attachment if I take Arya, as well as a neutral unit attachment. He can take a name and replace one of your either previously killed or your opponent's previously killed attachments in your unit, which is kind of cool. Tycho's just a cool healing piece for 4, and there's lots of debate about Walder Frey. He might be the new Varys. He's probably kind of the new Varys. We'll see what happens in 1.6, but he currently is kind of an auto-include because he just defeats a unit for half the game, potentially the whole game. Depends on if you can land on the crown or not. If you can land on the crown, then you're gonna be stopping basically whatever you want. So a lot of fun to play with. I got the rest of the pack too. I'm gonna paint up. Well, you'll see them in a second. But I have the what is it? Hand of the King pledge, which had the old Brienne and Bronn in it, so I don't have any, I'm not in a rush to paint them because I have the models already, but the new Brienne model is so nice. The new Bronn model is okay, but the new Brienne model is just objectively an amazing female knight miniature, which I'll show you in a minute. And then I gotta paint up Vargar Hoat and the Goat, and the Goat of Harrenhal, and also the man, the legend, that is Dario Naharis, who's a very cool commander for a bunch of different armies. He's really cool in Night's Watch and Starks. So the other miniatures are just basically base coated. I think it's going to be Dario next, but this is what I got done so far. And over here, I painted up, I love this miniature. I just call her Cat Girl. My daughter loves this miniature too. I painted her up as my freelancer in, Zone Raiders. But it's a miniature from the Human Interface box set. It's just so cool. So the Human Interface freelancer comes with I think it's some kind of pistol and a armored gauntlet and a survival suit, and I was like, this is perfect. It's just like a little kid that's making a name for herself. So I love this model, and it's a cool Human Interface miniature, all in hard plastic. You can see it's one of the board game style pieces in PVC, but painted up really nice, and it's tons of fun mini to do up. And then I painted up Una for the NCA. I managed to get my hands on one. She's a cool attachment, named character from the Defiance box set with 2 SMGs. And then also just finally tried out my Ulan this week against Owen. So I painted up my Closets Ulan, which is one of the Stingray series small tags for Pan-Oceania. It's a really cool, goes to camo, has an HMBG and a Fearbach, and is generally pretty cool. So it was my first 6 minis of the year, kind of rolling over the 3 from the previous year. Yeah, we'll set up my goal for this year. I painted 806 last year, which means I have to try and do 807 this year. Here's all kinds of stuff I'm working on. So I've got some new, very cool stuff for Fall Wasteland Warfare, which is the Institute. Lots of Generation 1 and Generation 2, plus a Courser, plus a Scientist from the starter set. And then we've got Kellogg with his robot arm, and then 2 of the named Coursers as well from the Covert Operations Institute pack. Along with the Institute expansion, I got just some more Gen 1s and Gen 2s to paint. And then in my little pack of just stuff I had not quite finished up, I have the Lone Wanderer, the male one, and then some Settlers, my Ray Gun dude, another Power Armor suit, and my one of my robots. I think it's supposed to be the robot from Sanctuary Hills, but I'm just going to paint it as a generic robot. And I've got an idea for some Warcry 3 Blood Dragon type stuff in Fallout. I'm going to read some single player adventure rules for it. So yeah, more on that soon, but I got a cool idea I'm going to try it. And then I started up my first 2 points, I guess, of Saga stuff. Really want to get my Saga stuff done last year, but it took forever to show up. And I realized later on I actually don't have everything. I'm missing 8 of the miniatures. I'm missing 8 of my bowmen, my Bondi bowmen for my my Vikings. But here's my leader and his standard bearer. I drilled it and put some brass pin in there. Got them all based up, and then a first unit of just Viking herdmen. So they're from Warbanner. Used to be Warbanner. It's called something else now. Can't remember what it's called now. The artist formerly known as Warbanner. But I just wanted to paint up my first like my warlord, my first point basically for my warband. So we can get some games of Saga in this year as well, and just starting with Vikings. I've got some Crusade stuff I can paint as well, but we're not gonna start there. We'll get there later on. Then the rest of my neutrals need to get painted up. There's Braun and Brienne, Stormcrow Captain, some Stormcrows. I have a couple units of Stormcrows to pad out my Boltons, and there's Dario and Vargar Hort to play with my neutrals. My neutrals have been a lot of fun, and there's all kinds of neutral stuff coming out. The only thing I'm not sold on is the archers. I'm not super into them. Yeah, I think it's just still take Bastard's Girls for the Bolton cards, but we'll see. We'll see where it ends up. I'm going to try these out probably in the next couple. I mean, I've got there's a bunch of stuff you'll see, so you probably won't see them until February or March, like game-wise, like airing, because there's a bunch of games you haven't seen yet. But I'm stoked to paint them up and give them a try. Then I got to paint up Sam and Treads, so Sam McHorn in her big Devil Dogs robot suit, big Puncho Fists for Riot Quest, which I'm stoked about. And Leadfoot and Treads, it's basically a pig troll in a tank, which I think is hilarious to paint up. God, I love these Riot Quest models. They're all so unique and so much fun to paint. And honestly, if you were gonna get back at, I really hope they do a new edition of the IKRPG at some point, because these are just great character miniatures for the whole line. You could rebrand the entire Riot Quest line as IKRPG minis and just be ready to rock and roll. And then I gotta start off converting up my box of Slaves of Darkness. This is my New Year, New Army for Age of Sigmar. Owen's been working on some stuff as well, because he's going to play AOS at Adepticon this year. And that means we're going to do some training games. And I'm going to play Slaves of Darkness, which is to say I'm going to have a lot of fun painting.
So you have it, the first on the paint table of 2020, 2019 on the books, and 2020's resolution will get posted up probably this week. I have to put up some pictures and stuff, and I'm shooting for 807, so down 79 models from 2018, which is honestly fine by me. I like painting what I like to paint. One of my resolutions for this year was that I was going to do 4 projects, 1 project per quarter, that were just for me, just a crazy idea I'm going to chase down and follow. You'll see the one for the first quarter. I'll start talking about it soon. I also wanted twice a year do something cool that's sort of like outside the box. I don't know, I'm still spitballing that. I've been talking with Adam from Greenleaf Train about what I want to do just in the summertime. We might do a backpacking trip or something like that. I don't know, just something cool, just some fellow collaborators that's neat and different. So if you want to spitball ideas for that, tell me them in the comments. And the last one is I want to do some charity work, because, man, like 5 years ago, if you told me that this would be my life, I wouldn't have believed you. And so I think it's important to pay some stuff back. So I'm going to walk for Coldest Night here in Canada this year, which is a 5K or 10K hike. I'm going to do 5K with my wife, and we're going to raise money for at-risk families and the homeless who are freezing to death in Canada, because there's quite a few. So it's just, yeah, I'll link it below and you can check it out. I've managed to raise a whole bunch of money so far, which I'm super excited about. And we're going to go walk in the dark and the cold on February 22nd. So lots of time to keep going with that. And I think it's just important to, this year, hopefully try and do as bunch of good too. So those are my resolutions for this year. On top of painting some miniatures, I want to do some different things. So doing projects just for myself. They're not like about a new release or a new game or something like that. Doing some out of the box things, so things that aren't what I've been doing normally. So not just like writing rules and doing battle reports and stuff, but something different. At least twice. You're probably going to try and do that one quarterly as well. And of course, at least twice a year doing some kind of charity project too. So hope you enjoyed this on the paint table. We'll see you for more of this, I guess, next week on Saturday. We'll see what I get done. Thanks, Al Mash. Have a good. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to support the channel, of course, like and subscribe and hit the little bell below to get notifications when I post future content. I do post stuff 7 days a week. If you want to support the channel further, you can, of course, buy a t-shirt through Spreadshirts, buy a measuring gauge or objective markers from Deathray Designs, or, of course, most importantly, there is Patreon. Patreon is what makes all this possible, keeps the lights on, pays for the studio costs, pays for the equipment, model costs, and everything else, and most importantly, puts food in my kids' bellies and a roof over their heads. Big thanks to everyone, past, future, who supported me. I do this stuff because of you guys, and of course, I will continue doing it as long as I can.